What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be talking about how to make an insane amount of progress in just 1 year of lifting. It's normal to have big goals and to expect a lot of change quickly, but you need to focus on the process first, and then the results will just naturally speed up. So you have to have a goal in mind. What is your goal? Is your goal to lose fat, to lose weight, to just get in shape in general? Is your goal to put on 10 pounds of muscle in that first year? Is your goal to look like David Lade, right? Obviously, it's not going to happen in a year, but there is so much progress that you can make in 1 year. It's insane. So I want to break it down into 3 main things. We're going to talk about training, we're going to talk about nutrition, and we're going to talk about discipline. Training. So regardless of your goals, you should be doing cardio and you should be resistance training. If you're trying to lose weight, you should probably focus more on the cardio. If you're trying to build muscle, you should focus more on the resistance training. Needless to say, you need to follow a routine. You need to commit at least 3 days a week to exercise, to going to the gym and exercising. If you're trying to put on muscle, you should either follow a full body split or an upper lower split. That's going to give you the most amount of progress, especially for a beginner. That way you're hitting each muscle group at least twice a week, and you're giving yourself enough time to recover in between sessions. If your goal is to lose weight, you should be doing cardio 2, maybe 3 times a week of 30 to 45 minute sessions, and you should also be resistance training 2 or 3 times a week as well. Now, with your training, it's very, very important that you're tracking your progress. So each set, you can have a notebook, you can do this on a notes app in your phone. I'd recommend an app. My clients use an app that I use, but you got to use something to be able to track your progress and understand what you need to get to each week. So that's tracking weight, sets, reps, and then how hard it was. So RPE, we can just say how hard it was out of 10, right? And then nutrition. Nutrition is so overlooked, and if you don't have nutrition dialed in, you could have these other 2 things dialed in and you're not going to see much progress without nutrition dialed in. If you're seeing any progress at all without your nutrition dialed in, imagine what would happen when you fix this. So nutrition is really important. If you're trying to build muscle, you need to be in a calorie surplus. I would recommend starting in a 100 to 200 calorie surplus and then slowly increasing your surplus as you plateau with your weight gain. You need to focus on a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you're getting 200 grams of protein each day, which is not hard to do. You don't need to be eating a ton of food to be getting that, right? And the most important thing with your diet is that you're getting the same amount of calories each day, right? It's not like you're having a high and a low day. There's people that do that and then they crash diet and they end up just not even being able to follow their diet. So if you're gonna have a day where you eat 2,800 calories and a day where you eat 3,500 calories and just assume it's gonna even out, it's just not a good habit to build, because then you're gonna get used to that and you eventually go way too under or way too over your calorie range. So it's important that you're just hitting what you need to hit every day and just stay consistent with that. If you're able to meal prep, I would recommend meal prepping. You can weigh everything out and you can look at the macros for each thing. I wouldn't recommend worrying about grams of fat, grams of carbs, and all that stuff, because you're not a bodybuilder, right? You're not super focused on just your diet. You're focused on the whole picture. So just total calories and getting grams of protein is enough for now. And that's still what I do. I don't focus on carbs or fats. Like, I look at it sometimes and just see, oh, what did I have today? But I'm not, like, I don't have a certain goal because I'm not currently competing or anything. So there's no need for me to focus on things like that. Something that people often don't understand is it's okay to eat those foods you like. Like, me personally, I have Rice Krispie treats all the time. I have protein bars. I have chips sometimes. Like, yes, I eat healthy, but there is always room for those foods that you like. It's just, calories in, calories out. And you have to understand that those foods that you like are typically just higher in calories. So if you're going to eat those things, you got to eat a lot less calories later in the day. Now, let's also talk about nutrition timing with your training. Ideally, you're having something before you train, something before you work out. So you wake up in the morning, have a light breakfast. That could be a banana, some toast, some carbs to give you energy for the workout, and then you're having protein and carbs post-workout. So that could be chocolate milk, that could be eggs, that could be maybe that's lunch. It depends on what time you work out anyway, right? But the idea is that you want to try to make sure that you have energy in you while you're working out, and then also try to get something in after you work out. Now you might be asking, what is discipline? To me, discipline is the ability to do hard things regardless of how you feel. So ignoring how you feel. Like if I wake up, I feel sick, I feel tired, I feel like crap, I feel beat up, I feel the worst I've ever felt. I still gotta lift. I still gotta work out. Why would I assume that I don't have to do that, right? We all should hold ourselves to certain standards. Like there's no reason you don't get to just skip it, right? Like there's no reason that you can just sit in your bed and ignore the things you have to do, ignore your responsibilities. Discipline is what my brand is based off of. Discipline Disciple. This is just what I believe in. I believe that discipline wins. I believe that discipline changes your life. Like you can have a great nutrition plan, a great training plan, a great coach. If you're not disciplined, how much progress can you really make? I mean, all the greatest people in the world, the most successful people in the world have discipline, and you have to have an abundance of it to see progress. That's something I'm just continuing to work on. This is something I just strive to grow with, is discipline, because motivation comes and goes. You can be motivated one day to work out, and then the next day you know you have to work out but you don't feel like it. Discipline will force you to do it. It's just building habits. But it's all a choice. Everything is a choice. But making the right choices and making those choices that force you to be better and doing the hard things builds discipline over time. And you just build these great habits that form you into the man that you want to be. So that's it for this video. We talked about training, nutrition, discipline. You just need to focus on those 3 things. Don't worry about things like what supplements should I take, or what kind of diet should I follow, what split should I use for my workouts. Simplify it, right? Follow something with your training, follow something with your diet, build discipline over time. You do this for a year, you're going to completely change your life. Thanks guys for watching. If you guys are interested in coaching, you can use the Calendly link below to book a call with me. Give me a follow on Instagram, Brandon_Kurzija. Leave a comment, like down below, subscribe, do your thing to help the algorithm out. See you guys in the next one.